If your child looks completely wiped out by 7 o'clock, yawning, irritable, running on empty, but as you get closer to bedtime and expecting them to continue to wind down, something in them kind of fights back and switches back on, you're not imagining that. That moment is telling you something important about what's happening inside your child's body. I'm Diane Luzny, and I work with moms of kids on the spectrum, age 4 to 12, who also have sleep issues. My guess, you have already tried to follow the perfect routine. You've tried melatonin, you've tried dimming the lights and cutting the screens, and your child is still not settling. In this video, I want to look at something a little bit less common, but it's gaining ground. It's not a miracle drug. It's a mineral that plays a direct role in whether the nervous system can actually wind down. Plus, it's involved with over 300 processes in the body, and many of us are deficient in this mineral. Point 1, what magnesium actually does in the body. There certainly isn't time to talk about the over 300 different processes magnesium impacts, but there are 3 that are important to you and me. The first is GABA. GABA is the brain's primary signal to calm down and relax. It's part of the chemistry behind, okay, we're safe. Nothing needs to happen right now. You can let go. Magnesium activates GABA receptors. Without enough magnesium, those receptors don't fire the way they should. The second is cortisol, the stress hormone. It naturally starts rising about 2 or 3 in the morning. That's normal. It's the body beginning to prepare for the day. But when magnesium is low, that rise hits harder than it should. The nervous system doesn't have enough buffer to sleep through it, so your child wakes. Not because something frightened them, not because they need you, but because their own chemistry woke them up. Low magnesium means their cortisol stays elevated longer than it should. The third is muscle tension. Magnesium allows muscles to release, to physically let go after a period of contraction. Without it, the body stays tense, braced, even in a child who looks like they should be crashing. When magnesium levels are where they need to be, calming chemicals are produced. The nervous system can allow for relaxation. When magnesium is low, it's difficult for the calming chemistry to flow, no matter how tired the person is. That's one of the reasons why a child can be physically exhausted and yet unable to shift towards sleep. These 2 things, exhaustion and the inability to sleep, are not contradictory. They happen together, and unfortunately can happen every night. Point 2, why autistic children specifically tend to run low in magnesium. So if magnesium is this important, why are so many autistic kids not getting enough of it? There are 2 reasons, and both will make sense to you once I share them. The first one is diet. Magnesium-rich foods include cooked leafy greens, nuts and seeds, raw or soaked, I think, legumes, and some of the whole grains. Now, look at that list through the lens of sensory processing selective eating. Leafy greens, cooked beans, seeds, some whole grains. These are disproportionately the foods that autistic kids with texture and smell sensitivities reject. Food issues can feel like a parenting failure or a discipline problem, but it's neither. It's a sensory reality, and it has direct nutritional consequences. But diet is only a part of the picture. The second reason is how the autistic nervous system operates. Think of it this way. A neurotypical nervous system is like a car idling at low RPMs most of the day. It uses a steady, moderate amount of fuel. The autistic nervous system is running at a higher RPM almost continuously, processing more sensory input, managing more transitions, holding more tension between what the environment is demanding and what the body can handle. Higher RPMs means higher fuel consumption. And magnesium is one of the fuels. This isn't coincidence. It's what you'd expect from a system that's working harder than most, often on a diet that's already limited in the foods that would replenish it. And here's where it becomes a loop. Low magnesium makes the nervous system harder to calm. A nervous system that's harder to calm generates more stress. More stress burns through magnesium, which makes the nervous system harder to calm. It's not a vicious cycle in the dramatic sense. It's quieter. It just keeps running in the background every evening, every bedtime. Worth noting, some studies have found a significant difference between the magnesium level of autistic kids and neurotypical kids. Other studies have not. There is lots of anecdotal evidence both ways. Point 3. What low magnesium actually looks like in a child. You might already be seeing the signs of low magnesium. You just don't know that's what you're seeing. Magnesium isn't the only reason behind these symptoms, but it is a reason they might be happening. Difficulty falling asleep, not from any obvious reason. Maybe a kind of can't get comfortable quality that no amount of repositioning fixes. Frequent night wakings, particularly in the early morning hours when the body's magnesium-dependent processes are working hard. Muscle tension before bed. Your child who can't seem to relax into their pillow. Shoulders up, jaw tight, body still carrying the day. Heightened anxiety in the hours before bed, which often gets interpreted as ramping up or acting out, but is frequently a nervous system that cannot locate its off switch. Constipation, which is relevant because magnesium plays a role in muscle relaxation throughout the body, including the digestive system, and irritability in the late afternoon and evenings that seems disproportionate to what's actually happening. None of these individually confirm a deficiency, but taken together, in a child who's already eating a limited diet and running a nervous system in overdrive, the pattern is worth noting. What you can do. I'm not going to give you a list of things to try tonight, not yet. What I want you to do is observe. Because a lot of what low magnesium looks like in a child, you're probably already seeing. You just haven't had a frame for it. At bedtime and overnight, watch for a child who takes a long time to physically relax after lying down. Body still tense, repositioning repeatedly, can't seem to find comfortable. Muscle cramps or restless legs in the evening or overnight. Waking between 2 and 4 a.m., not from a nightmare, not from needing anything, just awake and agitated. Morning crankiness that seems heavier than it should be, even after a full night. During the day, watch for irritability that spikes in the late afternoon and seems disproportionate. Constipation, because magnesium relaxes smooth muscles throughout the body, not just in the nervous system. High reactivity to sensory input that seems worse some days than others without an obvious trigger. Poor focus that isn't consistent. Good days and bad days that don't follow a pattern. None of these alone confirm anything, but if you're seeing several of them regularly, especially in a child who also eats a limited diet, that picture is worth taking seriously. And if your child is frequently clingy, wired, shut down, or something else at bedtime, but you don't know how to respond, I've got you. I have a free guide that walks through 5 common pre-bedtime states, what each behavior is actually telling you, and specifically how you should react. The link is in the description below. In the next video, I'm walking you through the full range of magnesium types. There are over a dozen of them, and they each do something different in the body. Often people use the wrong type and then wrongly believe that magnesium doesn't help their child. Make sure you know which one is right for your child, or you're wasting your money, and more importantly, your time and your child's time. See you there.